Bethesda has created some amazing video games in the past, but when you hype up a game for over a decade, people are bound to be a little bit disappointed if it doesn't launch to perfection. And of course, Starfield is a game that we all like, but I don't really think anybody particularly loves. But now the Steam reviews have plunged to a mostly negative after a massive paid mod backlash. I have a few things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, follow me on social media, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube membership. So, there is already a bit of an update as Todd Howard has responded, but that doesn't mean they've done anything. So starting off, it says, on Steam, Starfield's recent user reviews are now sitting at a mostly negative after disgruntled players hit out at Bethesda for charging $7 for a single Starfield mission. So basically, Starfield has this thing called Starfield Creations. You can go to the creations.bethesda.net webpage and you can see tons of different mods. It's supposed to basically just be a hub for all sorts of mods. There's thick civilian clothing, pistol skins, weapon skins, Book of Boba Fett armor. I mean, there are a lot of mods compiled here, which is very good for players who basically just want an easy way to find the mods that they may want to download for their game. But unfortunately, Bethesda, of course, took it 2 steps too far, because not only are there creators who put their creations on there, but also Bethesda themselves, and they did decide to not only put up a slew of different ones on their own, and while some of them are free, they did decide to also put up ones that you have to pay for. Yes, and the main issue is the fact that they are charging 700 of the currency, or it equates to 7 real-world dollars, in order to get one single mission. Now, yes, there are DLCs that come out for games. Look at Shadow of the Erdtree, 30 to 50 hours worth of content for $40, cheaper than a new video game, and in some cases, more content than a brand new AAA release. But Starfield is a game that, had launched to, not the most shining of scores. People were not as happy as they expected they were going to be with it, but also we know that they have sold season passes for Starfield for their upcoming DLCs. Like, in just a few months, we are going to get the Shattered Space DLC, where we're supposed to be getting new planets and lots of new weapons and cosmetics and armor sets and whatnot. But now they think that it is okay to put up singular missions that equate to 7 real world dollars. Again, for $7, we're not talking about like quest lines with like 10 quests. We're talking about one singular mission that they've put as, lore friendly. You get gear out of it. It's a special quest, so they're really trying to heavily market it. But as you can also see, there's more than just this one singular mission. They also have cosmetics up here that are paid for, that they're trying to charge $10 for. Now, of course, taking the whole mod ecosystem and monetizing it is not something that I think is positive. We're not talking, again, about a $40, 50-hour DLC. We're talking about taking single missions and putting them behind paywalls. So on this website, there are verified creators whose creations can be monetized, and they get a certain amount of revenue. But the issue is Bethesda thinking that it is acceptable to put their own price tag on their own mission, instead of putting something like this in an upcoming DLC that people have already paid for. It is a slap in the face to dedicated players that had decided, maybe at release, oh, I'm going to buy the season pass because I want to support this game, or to the people that they expect to show up and swipe their credit card. They're also selling, like I showed off, $10 for a set of 22 outpost decorations, which is a little more acceptable, I suppose, because it's not affecting the gameplay and it's not exclusive missions, but at the same time, it's still a lot of money for a few decorative items. The whole idea of monetizing mods at all is lame. I think mods should be done by the community for the love of the game. I think monetizing mods, even if it's third party, is opening up a whole other can of worms. Even if Bethesda didn't make them, it's paid DLC. I know they've tried similar stunts before, but it's not cool, and they can't claim it's the only way to get, third party people to show up and make good content, because look at all of the other stuff that was made for just Skyrim alone, in the game most certainly deserves the mostly negative that it is sitting at this point in time over this. And even if you look at the all reviews, it was already sitting at mixed because people were generally upset with the state of launch and really how they didn't put a lot of time and effort into the game after that. They weren't putting out like a ton of patches and bug fixes, but now all recent is mostly negative because it is another push for curated paid mods that absolutely no one asked for. Like Fallout or Skyrim, except exploring isn't fun. Despite the overall negative review, I actually do like this game, but with asterisks. I mean, I agree. I didn't think that Starfield was the worst game that I had ever played. I thought it was like a 7 out of 10, but there was a lot of room for improvement. But I went into the game expecting it to be Bethesda level quality. I had said, even when I streamed it at launch, I bet in a year when there's tons of mods out, it will be a significantly better game. And from what I understand, it is, because there are so many mods at this point. But again, trying to put singular missions behind paywalls is not going to go over well with the community. Bethesda used to be good. Yeah, the official Creation Club content, selling cut content faction missions is beyond scummy, even for, microtransactions, investors themselves, like horse armor. This is not the way I want to see things done in Elder Scrolls 6, so I'm going to downvote this to do my part to show Bethesda that players aren't happy the way they do things right now, and I completely agree. I think if you are upset with this, go and leave a negative review, leave a post on Twitter/X, and voice how unhappy you are, because I don't want this to happen in a game like Elder Scrolls 6. I am super excited for it, and I want to give Bethesda more chances, but I also want them to prove that they are not actually just disregarding our feedback yet again. And the more backlash they see, the more apt they are to actually change their ways, because they know that people are willing to boycott their products, or at the very least not support the ones that have these awful, microtransactions in them, and again, paid mods. It's not worth 70. Didn't even get 100 hours before it. I was bored. Paid mods are not helping it either. Old engine, empty worlds, taking a dump on the modding community as well. Yeah, in my opinion, this really is just super disrespectful to, again, the people who have already paid for season passes and the base game, and also the modding community who had previously, put so much time and effort into other games of theirs. Again, like Skyrim, look at how many mods there are for Skyrim, how many are so freaking amazing. So I don't know if Bethesda will actually take this to heart. I know Todd Howard did say that he is, going to have them look into this and they're going to reconsider. He said that we hear the feedback. First, I'll say that stuff gets priced based on things that we've done before, both in Creation Club and then Fallout 76, and we're trying to be looking at what else is out there, really make sure we're giving value to everybody and where we're not. So he's saying that they might adjust it, but at the same time, it is still up on the webpage. You can still buy it for the $7 and then this cosmetic one for $10. So if they're listening, they're really not making a, quick move to alter these prices and change it around. So it's actually fair, which to me just screams that they're not really that worried about it, and they probably won't change it. They're just hoping that people are going to stop paying attention in the next few days and everyone will move past it. And maybe we'll end up talking about it again in a couple of months once more people have already, purchased the upcoming DLC. So it will be interesting to see if they actually make any changes, if the reviews end up trickling upwards again and getting into a positive territory. But at this point, I highly doubt it. But that's all that I had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.